welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenny Allen and welcome to Heart of Refuge. Before we get started in today's video, please make sure that you're subscribed to my channel and that you thumbs up this video and you've got your notifications turned on. Subscribe, thumbs up and turn on your notifications. So let's get started in today's video. So today's video is my September wrap up, my September review of what I've read, studied, and done as far as Bible readings and devotionals are concerned. Please, before I get started, please make sure that you subscribe in the comments and please make sure that you comment below to let me know what you did, what you read, what you studied for the month of September. So I got through quite a bit for September, which I'm quite happy about actually. And let me start first of all with the book of Romans. So my read through for the month of September was the book of Romans, and I used my single column journaling Bible, you can see that there, and I went through the book of Romans, and Romans has 16 chapters, and I went through that, and Romans is very, very much about the law, about grace, about the law versus the New Testament, the old versus the new, the law versus what Jesus came to do. And because I'm reading it in my single column, I think it's the English Standard Version, it gives a very clear layout of the old, the law, and the new, what Jesus did. And it's an excellent read. And let me just highlight some of the notes that I took as I was reading, notes that I took in the column. So for example, for chapter 2, I made a note that says that a Jew is one who is circumcised in the heart. The law is written in the heart, because don't forget, in the Old Testament, everything was done according to the flesh. You had to physically circumcise. You had to make sure that you had all this outward working, all this outward adornment in order to be considered righteous. But when Jesus came, the external things that were done, they are now part of the heart. So a true Jew, a real Jew who is circumcised is one that is circumcised in the heart, and the law of God is written in their hearts. So it's a transfer from the outside, the physical works, and it's transferred into the inner work of the heart. Okay, and I've got another note here that says, my lack of faith does not nullify the faith of God. My lack of faith doesn't nullify the faith of God, and it doesn't nullify the miracles and what God can do. That's just a note that I've put there. But if you want something to understand a bit about the law and what the law could not do, but what Jesus did, and how it affects us today, and how we are the spiritual Jews, we are, the workings of Christ is that the workings of the inner heart and what he came to do in our hearts, read the book of Romans, okay? So that is Romans. It's quite meaty, and I think one of these days, one of the books that I've actually studied, I'm going to go through and do a chapter by chapter breakdown of the book. My mind is kind of leaning towards the book of Matthew because I really, really enjoy that read. So I might even do a further breakdown of the book of Matthew, or a book of the Bible, and go through it chapter by chapter and put up a video for each chapter that I actually break down and go through. So I'm considering doing that. So the next thing that I did for the month of September, I actually did my 14-day SOAP challenge. So SOAP is an acronym for Scripture, Observation, Application and Prayer. I did a 14-day challenge, and I had people sign up to my mailing list to do that challenge. I participated in that challenge, and what I did was I missed a couple of days, but I did the majority of it. and I have a soap study challenge. Sorry, I did a soap, SOAP, of one of the verses that I did during my challenge in September, and I will link it in the card section at the top. So that if you want to see how I did it, click on the link above and you can go straight to that video and see how I do the soap challenge. But I really enjoyed the soap challenge. And some of the verses that I did first thing in the morning, I did Ezekiel 36:26, I did Joshua 1:9, I did Proverbs 4:23, I did Ephesians 2:10, and I did Matthew 15:8. There are some of the verses that I did. And in January, I'm going to do a 7-day challenge based on new beginnings. Things that are new beginnings, fresh start, that kind of thing. So look out for the link for that challenge. I'm going to set that up, and maybe I will put the link out there maybe toward the end of November, because I think it's a bit early now. But that link is definitely going to be up. Okay, now, I finished this book. I actually started it in August, and I was determined to finish it in September. And I did this book, and let me tell you, I'm going to do a separate video on this, so look out for the video. And I'm going to put this video up. If I've already done the video, then I will link it in the card up the top. But look out for the video if I've done it by the time I've uploaded this video. And it's God's Romantic Getaway. God's Romantic Getaway, and it's been written by my friend Gemma Regis. And it's a really moving, personal story, very transparent story of how she developed a relationship with God through the broken areas of her life. And I'm going to go more into depth and do a bit of reading of some of the passages in the book and go a bit more into her testimony. But this book is excellent. It is 5 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot of things along the way, and what I learned also was some of the things that I used to think about regarding a relationship with God. Gemma so beautifully outlined them in the book, and I'm thinking, you know what, I used to think that, and I used to really think that way. So she wrote out the way how I thought. She wrote it out in the book beautifully. And if you're wanting to develop an intimate relationship with God, I would really recommend this book, that you get this book. I really would. And I'm going to do a review of this and post the video. Right now, YouVersion, you know that I do YouVersion with a couple of ladies, and let me just get the app out so that you can see. This is the the YouVersion app. And I did, how many did I do? I did 4 devotionals during the month of September. And I did Don't Look Back. I did the devotional Don't Look Back. I did the I Factor. I did Make Every Day Count. And I did Distraction, the Purpose Killer. Distraction, the Purpose Killer. So what I'm going to do is, let me just go to where, to plans that I've completed, and then I can show you what the actual app looks like. So if you want to try them or go through them yourself, you can. Okay, so the first one is Don't Look Back. So I did. Okay, so this is the cover for in YouVersion Don't Look Back, and the title is self-explanatory. Don't Look Back. Okay, and it talks about the past and how the past can hold negative memories, and how when we keep looking back at negative memories or negative circumstances and situations, we can never move forward, basically. So that's what that one's about. Don't look back. And then the next one is called, right, the next one that I did for September was called the I Factor. That was what I did, the I Factor. And if you want to go in, if you've got YouVersion, you can go down and it will tell you basically what it's about. Okay, so that's the I Factor. Then I did Make Every Day Count. And this one's by Joyce Meyer. Make Every Day Count. That's what I did in September. And once again, when you go to it, you can read what the devotional is about. So that's Make Every Day Count. And then the last one is called Distraction, the Purpose Killer. There we go. And this is the last one that I did in September. Oops. Yeah. Distraction, the Purpose Killer. And once again, you can go in and read. I really enjoyed this one. It talks about how distractions can destroy your purpose, which is self-explanatory, the title. But that's what I did. Distraction, the Purpose Killer. Okay. So they are my devotionals for the month of September. Now, the audiobook that I listened to during the month of September is called Piercing the Darkness by Frank Peretti. Piercing the Darkness by Frank Peretti, and it's a spiritual warfare fiction book, and I will put up a picture somewhere so that you can see the cover. And I really enjoyed this audio book because what I love about it is that the book describes not only what is happening in the physical realm, the actual story of the book, but it also goes into great detail in describing what is happening in the spiritual realms. So the book brings the darkness, the demons, it brings them to life, as it were. And as situations are happening in this particular church or this particular town, it describes, and it's like it's listening in or eavesdropping on the conversations of the demonic world to destroy this particular pastor and to destroy a town and to destroy his family. And it brought spiritual warfare to life. I mean, it was very much brought to life and very descriptive. And it talks about how in a small town, a pastor, his church is very vibrant and is actually doing a lot of damage to the kingdom of darkness. And the enemy, the devil and his minions in that town, they plot to destroy this pastor's family, destroy the ministry, destroy the church, so that they can move in and take over the town. But the book goes into describing the power of prayer, the power of spiritual warfare prayer, and how this particular church, when their pastor got arrested, the members of this church rose up and began to intercede for their pastor, and ultimately they won the battle in the spirit, and of course it reflected in the natural. And it really shows and really describes the effects of supernatural prayer, the effects it has in the realm of the spirit. Is very descriptive and it's awesome. So that's Piercing the Darkness by Frank Peretti, and it's a spiritual warfare fiction book. Excellent. I really recommend that. If you're somebody of prayer, or if you're somebody who's into spiritual warfare or, personal prayer and everything, it really describes really well how the enemy attacks a person's mind and how he's out to kill, steal, and destroy. Okay, so I really recommend that book. And then the last book that I listened to on Audible was Kingdom Woman by Dr. Tony Evans and his daughter, Crystal Evans Hurst. I love Dr. Tony Evans and his daughter, Crystal Evans Hurst. So let me just look at my notes here so that I get everything that I had written down. So he goes into talking about women in the Bible who are kingdom women. So he goes in and he shares on Esther. He shares on the woman of Samaria. He shares on Mary, the mother of Jesus. He shares on the woman with the issue of blood. He shares on Deborah. And he talks about women's spirit, soul, and body, being a kingdom woman in marriage, motherhood, sisterhood, brotherhood. He talks about the many responsibilities that women have. He talks about the power and purpose of women in marriage. He talks about divorce. He talks about domestic violence. He talks about submission. He talks about a host of things, all related to the power of women, and it is so well written. It is beautiful. And he talks about the women's and man's responsibility in marriage. And what I loved about this, he would start the chapter off, and then he would go in and he would like teach or speak on a particular subject. And then at the end of that chapter, you would have something called Crystal's Chronicles, which is his daughter, Crystal Evans Hurst. And then she would share from her own personal experience how she experienced what her dad was talking about in the previous chapter. So they work hand in hand in the book. So he would write, he would teach, and then his daughter would give an example of what he spoke on. And it is so well balanced, really, really good. And it's really uplifts women. And it really, Dr. Tony Evans has a real understanding of what women go through and what it takes to be a woman and what it takes to be a kingdom woman. The responsibilities, the pressures, the amount of things that we have to carry as women. He writes about it beautifully. So I would really recommend that book. I listen to the audio, but if you want to get the book and you don't have Audible, I would really, really advise you to do so. It's awesome. So that is my review, my September review, my September wrap up of what I did in September. And I have already got my October, what I'm doing for October up. So I will put my October reads up in the cards as well. So you can go there and click there and watch. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you were ministered to and that you were prompted to get some of these books and get stuck into some of what I said today, or some of the material that I said today. So please make sure that you're subscribed to my channel. Thumbs up this video, turn your notifications on, and I will see you in my next video. Okay, God bless and have a fantastic day. Take care.